Hey everybody, I'm your host, Jaime Soretta. Welcome to Jaime's Local Love, the podcast, where we celebrate everything local in Arizona. And to feed people well is such a beautiful thing, and it's something that Chris Collins has been doing for quite some time here in the Valley with Common Ground and Culinary. Chris, thank you so much for being here today.
Jaime, thank you for having me. I love working with you.
Yeah, it's always so fun to see you.
It is
I know
great.
that I don't have to work at all. All I have to do is just ask you a question and let you go.
Oh, and just let me ramble and ramble and ramble.
This will be a good podcast for sure. Everyone buckle up
I will
and be
say,
ready.
if you ask me about restaurants or food, I can talk for a while. If you ask me about any other topic, it's a deer in headlights. It just goes right over me.
There's anything else besides food and restaurants?
Did you say cheeseburger?
Who knew? Tell me about your different restaurants because you have 7 concepts.
So we have 7 concepts here in the Valley. I started my restaurant group in 2011 with Grassroots Kitchen and Tap. Since then, I then bought my dad's Wally's, if you've ever heard of Wally's American Gastropub. So there's 2, one in Scottsdale, one in Phoenix. I bought that one in Scottsdale in 2016. We had Twisted Grove. I rebranded that to Collins Brothers Public House. We have the Collins Small Batch Kitchen. We have the Macintosh. We have the Neighborly. We have St. Urban, which is my kind of cool, a little bit more foodie wine bar, small plate, shareable, very kind of hip and cool for us. That just opened up in 2024. And then I'm building Cowboy Seafood, which is kind of our competition-worthy barbecue, meets like a full-blown seafood program with beautiful flown-in fish, fresh daily, oysters, shrimp cocktail, crab, a sushi bar, like all of this stuff all kind of coming under one house. We have our ice cream shop, Sweet Provisions. We have our catering company, Arcadia Catering. There's just so much that we're doing. And we've kind of, we focused on this Scottsdale, Phoenix kind of area, territory, where people know common ground and they have expectations for us. And we've been asked, will you go out to Glendale? Will you go out to Gilbert? And I'm not saying we won't, but I ask, they don't know us. They know us where we operate here. And we are very ingrained in the community. And that is something that is just extremely and highly important to me.
And 14 years for your businesses. And then Wally, how long has he been a restaurateur?
So my dad worked for Don Callender, who started Marie Callender's when Wally got out of the Air Force. So my dad was going to be an airplane pilot, but then Don Callender convinced me into restaurants. So since I was a baby boy, my dad has been in the restaurant business. He owned a couple other concepts. He had the Board of Trade, which is really cool, which is a concept I want to redo one day. He had Texas Longhorn Bar and Grill, where he's literally won national barbecue competitions. Huge, 2,500 entries. And Wally won it one year and got People's Choice the next year. So kind of like a throwback to why we're doing Cowboy Seafood.
Right.
Barbecue is in the family's blood.
So you grew up here in Phoenix?
Grew up here in Phoenix. We moved here when I was 10.
Yeah.
So I was born in Reno, Nevada. My dad opened up some restaurants in South Florida. They didn't go great, so that's kind of why we relocated to Phoenix. So as far as my generation goes, kind of as local as you can get. But now that, we've had our 2 boys, all my nieces and nephews are born here. Now it's like really hitting home. And plus, I've lived all over the country. I would never raise a family in anywhere but here in Phoenix.
Why?
It's just such a wholesome community, right? We grew up here going to St. Thomas, and I went to Brophy, and I'm still friends with all those people and all those families, and it's very like-minded people that, really just want the best for our families and our kids. We're very present in what we do, at work, at home, in the communities. Like, I just feel like everything's the same. They're like, oh, how do you work 80 hours? Because it's all the same, right? Whether I'm at the football field or if I'm at the restaurant or if I'm at church or if I'm dropping or picking off the boys from school, it's just like the whole package of living here. And I cherish it. I really do.
I think of being very present and having a lot of energy, which you have.
Which I have. It's
How?
I know. You know what? It's my superhuman strength, right?
Yeah, we all have a certain power.
I can wake up at 6 o'clock and I can go until 10 o'clock and I can do it 7 days a week without missing a beat. Now, my staff members will tell you when they see me with a cup of coffee, it's dangerous.
They worry.
It's like overload. Like it's too much.
Yes.
So I barely even touch caffeine.
Wow. Okay.
But you're the same. You're going
No.
nonstop. I've seen you. I've seen you work all day. I've seen you been on the TV, and then I've seen you in the restaurant afterwards.
Thank you. But I do rely on my coffee and my sleep and I need to carve out some downtime for sure. I need that kind of recharge time as well.
They do say sleep, right? Like sleep is everything for health, for mental, for your body.
Yeah.
So do you sleep well every day?
I pretty much do now, especially, and I really enjoy it since, all the different shifts that I've worked in television.
I could only imagine.
So I sleep very well right now. Slept through the night like a baby, Chris.
It
was fabulous.
And you're here and you're present for today.
I know. See? So it all goes back to sleep, but also a passion for food because you said you grew up in the Valley, but you moved. So where'd you go to college? How did you get involved? Did you always know you were going to follow in Dad's footsteps at the Culinary?
So I'm one of 6, 5 boys, 1 girl. And out of all 6 of us, I was the one who loved being in my dad's restaurants. I loved being in the kitchen. I can remember, and this is not exaggeration, I can remember being 5, 6, 7 in my dad's restaurants, stealing bacon off the line, messing around with the line cooks. I can remember my first job was taking pies out for people at Marie Callender's. And like back then, if you got a quarter, like big deal. If you got 50 cents, big deal. If you got a buck, I mean, what was $1 in 1988 compared to $1 now, right? Like that must be
you can
like
actually
$5,
do something with it. Yeah.
right? Like I don't know if I'm giving a kid a $5 for carrying out my pies,
right?
And then even at home, my dad's passion is food. We share it, and he cooks all the big meals at home and all the holiday stuff. And Thanksgiving is coming up and all, and like these are just memories and everything that's just like so ingrained. And I loved it. And my dad would kick everyone out of the kitchen, like including my mom.
And you?
Not me.
Oh.
I got to stay because I was genuinely interested. I think I showed a passion for it very, very early, and I was helpful.
Not in the way.
I was not in the way. Like I listen, it wasn't, oh, dad. It was, Wally, what do you need? And it's funny. I call him Wally because I've worked for him.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in the restaurant saying, Dad,
I want that day off.
No way. It's Wally, what do you need? Wally, how can I help you?
Yes, chef.
Wally, I saw that you worked a 16-hour shift today. Can I come in after swim practice and relieve you so you can go home tonight?
Yeah.
Right? Like that was my life growing up.
And you went to Boston for college?
So out of all 6 of us, the deal at home was my parents would always make sure you got a college education. But if you wanted to go out of state, if you wanted to do something kind of beyond the in-state schools, you had to get a scholarship. Well, 4 out of 6 of us all got swimming scholarships to go out of state. So I got an opportunity to go to Boston University. I got a full ride swimming scholarship. And it's kind of funny. Like I get to an opportunity to speak to the Brophy senior class every semester. And I always start out, guys, I graduated with a C+ average. And the teacher just shakes his head at me. But sometimes those boys need to hear that.
Yeah.
Like there's a huge future, even though like maybe studying is not your thing.
Yeah.
But then I got to college and I just loved what I studied so much. And swimming kind of,
took a back seat
a little bit. But then I graduated cum laude.
Oh.
So I think it just shows like finding your passion in this world.
And it was hospitality. Is that what you studied?
Hospitality management. I think if I had done the business school at Boston University, I would have got laughed out of the college.
Wow.
Very cutthroat, very, very, very smart, young, bright people going to that. And as well at the hospitality school, but you're just such a smaller pond. So it was a great opportunity for me to kind of thrive.
So the hospitality, I imagine you learned a lot of the logistics of running, whether it be front of house or, inventory, back of house, et cetera. And then maybe you learned a lot of the cooking from your father?
Yeah, so cooking was just an extra class that you could take. It was not part of the core curriculum, like accounting, law, hospitality management. Those were all the core curriculum. So it's really like going to business school. It's just where all your case studies and everything are hospitality driven. The cooking courses, the wine tastings, right?
Ooh.
I had all of my friends who were in all the different colleges sign up for the wine tasting electives through the hospitality school because everyone wanted to,
learn.
learn. Well, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I took more away from that in my real life than maybe any other class because now I can actually talk wine, and it stemmed from those few classes that I took my senior year. But it also helped that we were all freshly 21 and we were seniors, and most of us had kind of decided what we were going to do after college. So going to wine class was pretty awesome.
I get it. That is super exciting. I always love one of my things that I love about experiencing food and wine is when the chef or the somm comes and describes it to me. while I'm eating. I feel like that's such a beautiful thing to be like, and then we have the capers, and then we have the chef picked these from the garden outside, or this came from their home garden, and you're like, oh yes, I taste the roasted apple in that. I think that's such a, I don't know, beautiful part of the experience of food and wine.
Well, I completely agree. And being on both sides of it, right? Being the chef who does chef dinners where I'm calling attention to those elements, but then also being the guest who's sitting down. It is great for the person who has come up with this creation, right? I think it's art.
Yeah,
and to hear their side of it and their interpretation and to call out a few things when you are eating and drinking several courses, it is so easy to miss. Like, maybe even like the true core and point and value of this dish because you're absorbing so much when you do these tastings. So I cherish those moments. I love those moments. Well, one, I get to talk, and Jamie, I know I like to talk.
I mean, you do it very well.
But I love listening to people talk. Especially when it's about food and wine and restaurants and why this and why not that and how did they do this. And I'm just, it's like a sponge. I could not talk about anything for the rest of my life. And I still wouldn't have enough time on this planet to get everything I want to get out of it.
Isn't it interesting?
It
really is.
I feel so lucky that like I have this field that is my life, that is my household, that is my everyday. It's my work day. It's my socializing day. It's my relaxing time. Like I'm just so thankful that I get to nerd out on all of these things every day.
And that's truly what it's about. I think when people are looking for their passion and trying to find what it is they really liked. As I say, go back to what you liked as a kid. Like as a kid, a little girl, I wanted my dad to take me to Radio Shack because I loved the microphones and I loved looking at the communication equipment. And I was the first to have a little flip phone when I was a girl. So I just felt like these elements are in there. And then when you get to pursue it full Monty, as you do, and live your dream, it just is out of this world to experience.
Yeah, what a great example of a young person identifying those things that really make them tick. I feel not everyone gets that opportunity in this life. Sometimes people find it much later. And I have friends who will say, Chris, I didn't know what I wanted to do till I was in my late 20s. Thank goodness I didn't go do something else.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So I guess, like, I think
we're lucky.
We're lucky.
Yeah.
But I think we've kind of already mentioned this a few times. Being present.
Yeah.
Right? Being present throughout your entire life is going to open so many doors versus just putting on the shades and the blinders and just trekking through life.
I also think showing up. I feel like showing up has put me in a good place often.
Yeah, because
even if I wasn't ready, even if I wasn't ready, even if I wasn't in a good mood, even if I showed up when I didn't have to.
So when your friend invites you to this podcast, you show up.
Even when they just got back from an international trip.
I mean, we traveled 20 hours yesterday. My car didn't start this morning, but I got here. I was 1 minute late, and Jamie was tapping her watch.
I'm like, I know he's going to be here. Chris is not going to be the one who stands me up. No one stood me up yet, but I still am waiting for the moment that it happens.
Can I tell you a wonderful story that I have about you?
Oh.
Every time I see you on the news or every time I come in, cook in your kitchen, I think about this moment, and it's ingrained. It's a core memory of mine. So COVID had just happened. The government had shut down in dining. We were only doing to-goes. And here comes Jamie on a sunny day to Colin's Small Batch Kitchen, wearing her shades. Like I can see you in my parking lot. Christopher, how are you? How are you doing? We're here for you. And you take out your phone and you do an Instagram or a social media post. And like, I will never forget that moment that you were making the rounds in this valley, supporting guys and ladies like me. Because I will never forget that.
No. Well, it's easy to do. And you support us and you support the community and you give back in so many beautiful ways. It's just, the goodness goes round and round, as they say.
So we were, before we started, we talked about, do you have a mantra? Do you have like a household saying? And our household saying is good people get good things. Yeah. And if you really practice that in life, I truly do believe. And this relationship.
Yeah, it's just fun. Isn't it nice?
A good example of that.
As I wipe a tear. That said, I have to go back to Wally's because my dad is at lunch right now at Wally's.
Oh, get out of town.
Yeah, or in an hour or so. And he, our cousin, came across a gentleman who was in boot camp with my dad. Vietnam era.
Really?
And so these men have not seen each other in 50-something years, and they chose Wally's for the meetup.
That is unbelievable.
wild?
We may have to have Wally swing by and say hi,
I
because Wally
mean-
was in Vietnam and he was
Oh
an
my
Air Force
God.
pilot, and there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of
Yeah.
love between those people who experience that.
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt
So
about
thank
it.
you for your dad for his
Yeah,
service and all those.
yours as well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Wally's neighborhood. It's such a beautiful little place in the neighborhood. And let's talk about all your different concepts, because they are very different. And your most recent you mentioned is the St. Urban. Tell me about it.
So St. Urban is the smallest footprint restaurant that we have, but extremely beautifully well built out. It's the first time I worked with the design architect, so we worked with ideation design. And before I would just kind of put up this painting, or I would just pick this booth fabric or stuff like that. This was a very intentional and methodical process to kind of reimagine this space that was a restaurant prior to us as St. Urban. And it's just the fun food where it's small plates. We call it a small plate production.
Yeah.
And where you and I are going to go in on a date night, and we're going to get 3 or 4 items from this column, or 2 or 3 items for that column, and we are going to sit back. We are going to enjoy a very well curated wine list. Where the point was, beautiful wine, not going to break the bank.
Oh,
Because
love
there's
both of
plenty of
those.
those wines out there. You
Yeah.
do not need to spend a lot of money on wine. You don't have to do it.
and I don't know enough about wine to want to do it.
Yeah, but you have trust once you find an operator or
Yeah.
a restaurateur. Once you say, I know they're going to put something
Yeah.
good on this
Yes,
list.
yes,
They're not
yes.
going to waste my time, their time, their
Okay.
brand.
So that's what, did you research?
So my team did. So Jamie, I'll be the first one to admit it. Food
Yes.
is my passion.
Wine?
Wine, I love wine. Again, it's too much information for me to absorb. And if I cannot peel that onion to literally the last inner layer, I try to find people who will.
Yeah.
And I have an amazing team of mixologists and bar and beverage, and this group of people really hone in on what makes Common Ground Culinary's bar package.
Yeah.
And it's exceptional. And I think the hardest thing is it has to kind of sing with the food, right?
For sure. I mean, yes.
And when you have 2 different people from 2 different points of views doing that, it's hard. But these relationships have been going on for a decade.
Have you had a lot of your staff for a decade?
More.
Wow. How cool.
It's crazy. Our tenure is unreal. People ask, especially since COVID, they ask, how's turnover? How's all that? I mean, top 10% of restaurateurs, I think, get to experience what we've had.
Yeah.
So, but to the food and the wine and the bar and the liquor and the cocktails, everything sings together.
Marys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's truly wonderful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful space. Yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
Very pretty. The Neighborly obviously is right around the corner from us. So it's one of my favorites. Me and AZ Foodie will stop by. She loves that salad.
Yes,
what is that
she
salad?
does. So it's the
so good.
Dateland salad
Oh,
with
yeah,
goat cheese,
so
rotisserie chickens, white beans, avocado, field greens. My oh my girl at AZ Foodie. Shout out to you. I know you
Hi,
get that bad
Diana.
boy all the time.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
And no tomatoes. I think she's a no tomato girl.
I can't remember that
I'm
much.
pretty sure I know her order.
I'm gonna
I'll have the tomatoes.
I'm gonna teach her to like tomatoes. Now I have
know.
a challenge. Yeah.
I do. I have a hit and miss relationship with tomatoes, but I recently had tomatoes 3 ways. Oh, no, this was quite delicious.
What were the 3 ways?
That's a great question.
I just put Jamie on the spot.
That's a great question. There were 3 ways, but it was at Buck and Ryder. It was on the Buck and Ryder.
They do an amazing
with my crab
job.
cake.
Adam is such a talented restaurateur. His entire crew there. I admire what they do. But tomatoes. So I love tomatoes. You know where I hate tomatoes?
Where?
On a sandwich.
Oh, really?
It just adds too much wetness. It adds a little softness, a little I don't like it on sandwiches.
I trim that weird part out, like the seeds and the other things.
The inner core.
Yes, I
yeah.
trim.
If it's now a perfectly ripe tomato says a lot about a restaurant operation.
Yes.
Because they're not supposed to be refrigerated.
Oh, really? Oh.
No.
Oh,
You got to keep them at room
got
temperature.
like 5 of them in my
and you gotta
fridge right
make
now.
sure they're Coke can red.
Oh, wow.
And if I've had a battle over one product in the 15 years I've owned my company, Coke can tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
I can't tell you how many times I've said Coke can
Oh
tomatoes.
my
in
God,
life. It's
hilarious.
unreal.
And we did not plan this. Thank God I mentioned that Easy Foodie does not like tomatoes, so if we could get through this.
I know.
I'm pulling my tomatoes out of the fridge when I get home,
Pull 'em
and I'm
out of
going to
your
wait
fridge.
till the Coke can redness kicks in.
And you know what? What you probably didn't even notice is at the grocery store, they're not in the refrigerator either.
No,
and
no.
you probably didn't even notice.
No,
Because when you go home, you put them in the refrigerator, don't you?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well-
I don't know why I do that.
Now, everyone out there for
We-
local love, now you know.
Now you know.
Don't put your tomatoes in the
But
refrigerator.
while we're on the tip sharing,
Yep.
we're going into Thanksgiving. A lot of people who don't cook very often are probably having to come up with some kind of dish to bring to the table. What do you recommend as far as I think people like to pre-prepare?
Oh, you have to,
and
right?
things like
Like
that.
if you're feeding a lot of people. Okay. So if you want the easy out,
Yeah.
raise your hand up when they say mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Right?
Good.
Go make mashed potatoes. It's not hard.
Okay.
Use a good local heavy cream. But here's what I'm going to kind of give you as the tip. Boursin cheese.
Oh.
Have you ever used Boursin cheese
I
in
think
ingredients?
It's soft cheese, right?
It's
cheese
a
and
soft
crackers.
herb goat cheese.
Yeah,
But when you fold that into mashed potatoes,
Ooh.
it is exceptional. And then you get to come to the house and you say, "Here are my herb mashed potatoes," and it's fancy.
It is fancy.
You literally did no work. You boiled potatoes, you added salt, you did some cream and some butter, and then you foil in Boursin cheese.
See, but we had the secret ingredient.
You would think I work for Boursin cheese now because but it is awesome. Now, if you're really, really, really going to kind of strive to wow people and you're going to put forth the effort, well, one, you can offer to make the turkey or the ham, which is hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
If you have a good butcher, don't get a whole turkey. They call it a turkey lobe, but it's just the breast of the turkey,
Okay.
which I think most people just want the white meat. I like the dark meat, but I think
Okay.
most people are kind of okay with shaving that. But a thing that we do in our house is we will make a sausage and date stuffing.
Oh, that's delicious.
And I get old bread from Noble Bread that's in the restaurants kind of laying
Yes.
around. It's all different types of breads.
Ah.
And I just tear that stuff up. And we make our own turkey. So you have all of that jus and natural drippings that have kind of come off the thing. I mean, and then you add chorizo and you add dates for sweetness. It is unreal. If anyone wants my recipe, you come to my restaurant. I'm
Okay,
gonna
that's
share
what I
this
was.
one with
That's
you
what I was thinking of. What are we gonna do next about
Yeah.
this? Now we need an action plan. Now we need this recipe.
And
How are
then-
we getting it?
And then there's stovetops, or what was it called? Stovetop, right?
Stovetop, yeah,
that's
stuffing.
isn't that what you were trained to think stuffing was supposed to be growing up?
And then all of a sudden it became more rustic and the beautiful bread, like you said. It was oh, this is how grown up. I must be grown up now.
I love that you can say I'm grown up based on your palate and how it's
Yes.
changed, right?
I mean, I still like a little. Every now and again, we still right down the hallway here have our little what do we call it? Our just vending and a little Kraft mac and cheese at that little thing. I mean, it still hits.
No one's gonna knock a Kraft mac and cheese. So here, I have a good question for you. Do you like Brussels sprouts?
Not really. You have them, don't
Oh,
you? We
I
order them
think
at your
I
place.
sell more Brussels
We order them
sprouts
at your
than any
place.
company in the state of Arizona. That's what I've
Is
been
it
told.
Boursin cheese that you're serving it with? Because you do have a cheese dip, don't you?
So that one has candied bacon and 18-hour slow roasted garlic with an Italian balsamic where we start with 2 gallons.
Yeah.
And then we bring it down to 1 quart. So you can imagine how syrupy and thick that is with Maldon sea salt, cracked pepper. Okay, I'm getting hungry. But here's the reason I ask: as we adults, we
try new things. We enjoy new things. Our palate changes.
Evolves.
More sophisticated. My mac and cheese now comes with salt and pepper and hot sauce, even at my desk.
There you go.
So I'm all grown up.
A little chopped up hot dog.
No.
Oh, that was my family.
I'm sitting at my desk. No.
So anyway, so
Yes.
these Brussels sprouts, I have a saying at my restaurants when I go, and I see there are young people chowing down on these Brussels sprouts because it's got bacon, it's got garlic, it's got all this stuff. And I'll kind of pat the parents on the side and I'll go, "You're welcome. I taught your kids how to like Brussels sprouts at age 5.
Do they giggle?
Yeah, they love it because it's true.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, generations will grow up liking Brussels sprouts in this valley, and they will go out into the world, into the wilderness, and they will try other Brussels sprouts, and they will come back and go, they're not like our, and that's what they say. They're not like our Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
So they're like,
well, you're changing the world.
Yeah, you're changing the world.
One Brussels sprout at a time.
Covered with bacon and garlic.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you've been in the Valley for quite some time. What kind of challenges have you seen? I mean, you mentioned COVID was obviously huge for our chefs and our restaurateurs, and just everything. The scene has changed. The Phoenix, I mean, Scottsdale, it's grown up.
It is Phoenix has grown, and it's not just, when you say Phoenix, right? No one just means Phoenix. They are saying the Valley, right? Yeah. The Valley is blowing up, and maybe we need to refer to more as the Valley because there are so many great neighborhoods out there, all scattered through where you can just find amazing food. But you asked like 6 questions in that one sentence, so
either one you want. Any of them
I'm going to start with the challenges because really the biggest challenge that I have learned from opening up my restaurants was I stay in a very narrow lane in my life, right? I focus on what I need to focus on. I try not to get distracted by outside things. You know, I have a saying: focus on your 4 walls. Anything outside the 4 walls doesn't matter what's going on. Well, that is not true when you own restaurants because you are worried about, focused, responding to guests, team members, family, landlords, electricians, plumbers, booth makers, cooks, food purveyors, plastic suppliers. Like my Rolodex is insane. And I never thought it was going to be like that when I first opened up my first restaurant. Yeah. And that's what people say. People are like, oh, I want to open up a restaurant. And I go, oh, why?
Well, I say the same thing about people going to news, but I love it. There was no way you could talk me out of it. And that's what I say. You should want to do it so badly. There's no way someone could talk you out of it.
So I just gave my example of people think it's such a romantic thing to do. And then it's like, hey, like, are you going to be plumbing the toilet at 11 o'clock at night?
Right,
because if
that's
not,
the reality.
What would you say to someone, a young person who comes up and goes, Jamie, I think you're the greatest. You're on TV.
I think about Beaumont, Texas, and it was a very, very rainy situation. And I was living in Section 8 housing, low-income housing, and my apartment complex was kind of in a bowl. And I had a day one in Beaumont, they gave me this like wetsuit situation. So I put this plastic outfit on. A photographer they had to send to come get me because my little car wouldn't get out. And I walked knee-deep in this water, which, of course, we're in like Alligator Alley. Oh. I'm thinking, is there an alligator here? And I'm walking knee deep in water to get to my morning show, to anchor my morning show, and which of course I was, very new at it. And I was thinking, no one cares what I got through to be here today. Now my job, I'm here at work, is to be present, give people the information that they need for their lives. No one cares that I could have been swimming through alligator-infested waters for my journey to work today. No one cares. But it was part of the journey to get to work that day, and I did it happily, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, well, it certainly paid off. So what a wild example, because I have thought about this. I actually have. Yeah. So one...
And there was an escaped alligator, I have to mention. That real big owl got out. So I have to mention it was a reality. It wasn't just the pipe dream I came up with.
What about the homeboys who actually live there? Like, escaped or not escaped, that's their home, and now they're, their backyard just grew exponentially. Yes. Okay. So I see you news anchors in the middle of hurricanes. Yeah. I see you news anchors in war-torn countries. I see it when I was in Boston, and the city is shut down because of snow, but the news moves on. Yeah, wild. Like, it's like your guys' saying should be what's the post office? No rain, no sleet, no shut.
Rain, sleet, or shine. I don't know.
Yeah,
rain, sleet, or snow.
But that really should be the news anchors. Yeah. Motto.
Well, we're happy to be there. That's the thing. Like, we want to be there. And restaurants do the same thing. Like, when I was in Oklahoma City, it was we'd have ice storms, and our local restaurants, can you get to our restaurant? We'll feed you. We have lights. We our lights are on here. We have a generator outside. We can feed you. We can give you shelter. And that's what the restaurants do in those things, in those situations as well.
That is pretty amazing that when a community suffers, it's the restaurants that are usually the first to open and respond.
They have supplies.
After Hurricane Katrina, I went with the Houston's restaurant group back to New Orleans, and we were the second restaurant approved by the health inspector. There was a line wrapped around the door because there was just no place for people who did stay in the city to really get food. There was hardly any food in the grocery stores. Houston's was bringing people in from all over the country to work the shifts and stuff like that. But it says, when you've been in a community for 20, 30 years, all eyes kind of come on you.
Yeah. Your resource.
To be the backbone, to literally bring us back.
Yeah.
You know, you look at a lot of places, but restaurants are certainly at the top of that list.
Yeah.
What an exciting thing to think about.
Well, I think of when I think of local love, I think of Main Street America. You've got your butcher, you've got your dairy guy, you've got your mercantile, you've got your restaurant. You have these, and it's like, oh, Joe owns that, Jack owns this, you know, Mary owns that, and you know these people. And then now it's just expanded and grown to be a bigger city. But it all goes back to those basics of you need these certain staples to have a community.
Yeah. So I know those, like, as you rattled those professions off, I'm like, oh,
that's Bob
I know
McClendon.
Arcadia Meat Market. You know, I know Chris Nelson's at Nelson's Fish. Like, I know where I'm going to get that. I know Shamrock Foods Dairy and all that things. But if you just move to the Valley, how do you find that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, do you think people are searching that out, or they're just
that's
missing what is Main Street about Phoenix?
It's hard because I always find it's interesting when people visit the Valley, and then I always ask, where are you going? And a lot of people will find things on Yelp.
Sure.
So they will I know that we want to have lunch in this area. What's hot on Yelp? Or Open Table. Who has an Open Table? And they might end up at a chain. I'm like, how do you end up at that chain restaurant? Did you call me first? Call me first. And it's just interesting how people find that. But I think people turn to social media a lot, which you are not interested in. Tell me about social media.
So we talked about this.
So
we talked about my little lane and how I it's my
four walls.
I hyper focus on my little lane, and I do what I do, and I enjoy what I do.
Yes.
We have a team that does our marketing presence and our social media. But it is funny, while we were traveling around, my wife is on her Instagram finding restaurants on Instagram, and it was the first time I've seen someone, and it's like literally like we're at the airport going to the next place, and my wife's like, oh, and she's looking on Instagram. I go, why are you looking on Instagram? Like, why there? And she goes, because you can, in real time, you can see what the guest sees, not what the restaurant wants you to see. And I go, honey, that was a really smart response.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
And we found restaurants in Porto because of Instagram.
Wow.
So there is a sea of information out there. And certainly I hope that when people are coming to visit this valley, that they are doing a little bit of labor work.
Yeah. And I think they are. I think they're doing exactly what your wife is doing. They're looking at Instagram. It's the new Google as far as for searching for. I know when I start going, if I know I have a trip coming up, I start following all the accounts in Austin or Florida or whatever the situation is to find out where's their local influencer? What are they doing?
So you will search out an influencer, and then follow that influencer's path for the last 6 months or whatever they've kind of hit up. Interesting. Yeah, there is that is certainly new school thought, right, on how to get to people.
Yes.
And my response does not have anything to do with people coming to the valley, other than I hope they do a little research and they just see some good reviews.
Yeah.
But I'll say common ground, our bread and butter are our neighborhood communities.
Yeah.
And here everyone comes in and they try to sell me some service that does something with social media.
Really?
You know what I do? I look them dead in the eyes and I say, I do good work at the table.
Huh.
People come back.
Oh.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
But I do hope that those people coming to the valley are finding what really makes us tick as a local.
Yeah. Well, I think of my Home Depot, Debbie. You're familiar with her.
Absolutely.
And one of my producers, Lisa, we came in for brunch over at the Neighborly. And the dishes were incredible. Each one of them looked like Instagram stars as they hit the table. They were delicious. And then I think I recently dined with my boyfriend over at the Collins, right? That's the one on 32nd Street.
Yeah, I see you there often.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And once again, he said that I think he had the tuna poke.
Yes.
He's like, that was the best tuna poke I have ever had. He was like, his jaw was on the ground. He was stunned. He's like, why don't we come here more often? We go to Safeway. You know, you're right by the Safeway. we're running it out of Safeway. He's like, we got to put this on our rotation more. But and I had the crab cake. I think it was delicious.
Well, what a compliment. And you take a dish like a tuna poke, right? We didn't invent that dish. Yeah. That dish is on plenty of restaurants' menus. And when someone goes, wow, that stood out. Like when you can take a dish like that, or just a Caesar salad, or you know how I judge a restaurant? Their cheeseburger. If it's a local restaurant and I know I'll have an opportunity to come back, I get their cheeseburger because I'm really sizing them up.
Oh.
Now, if I'm in a different city or something like that and I don't have time for a cheeseburger
Yes.
and I really want to see what that place is
Right.
known for, I will try something else. But, for all of you local guys here, when I'm getting a cheeseburger at your restaurant, it's the bar. If you can't do a cheeseburger well, I don't know what business you have doing anything else.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the Collins mythology of scouting out restaurants.
Where do you like to take the family?
So
Besides your places?
Yeah, no.
Do you dine at your places a lot?
So actually, that was a New Year's resolution of mine in 2025 was to dine in the restaurants more because you see a different point of view, right? It's one thing being in the window or on the line or working the floor, but when you actually sit down, you see how many minutes it takes to get that drink. You see what and I try not to let my staff know or the kitchen that I'm sitting at this table.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the food the way it comes out.
Yeah.
So that's hugely important. But going to Mark Tarbell's place has literally been my special occasion place since I was 11 years old. I can remember my dad taking me to Tarbell's, and every time we would share a pepper New York strip, and like that is an ingrained core memory for me is dining at Mark's restaurants. We love Soltice in Midtown. That's a favorite one of ours. It's a small little house, French style food. They have like a 4-seat bar that my wife and I like cross our fingers that we can go sit at. They do a phenomenal job. La Panadas.
Love. Next door neighbor.
Next door neighbor.
So good.
So we were kind of outside Arcadia, and a year and a half ago, we moved our family to Central, North Central. And we have loved getting to know these restaurants. And I'm telling you, La Panadas is special, special, special.
It's 50 years plus.
Yep. And then, it's another, so Topher was at a friend's house. So Fitzy and I say, hey, Fitzy, do you want to take mom out for a dinner date? He's like, yeah, let's take her somewhere really nice. So we live just across from Christo's. I haven't been to Christo's since I was in high school, and my buddy was a busboy there. We got there. And my wife's from Rhode Island, and it just kind of has that old school restaurant dining, Italian kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And Fitzy thought we were in the coolest place, and my wife loved her experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm adding to my list of places to visit.
100%. And I think we could have a whole podcast on just where to visit in the Valley.
I mean, for
and
sure.
it doesn't stop there.
No, I mean, so many things to eat, so many things to see. And then I just so appreciate our Valley locals and community members like you are who are just building in our community. And I think of our restaurateurs who give that 16-year-old kid their first job and just mentor and the special things that you guys do besides feed us, along with feeding us, I suppose.
That's a wonderful acknowledgement, but it starts with you, right? It starts with our local
customer?
supporters.
Oh,
Yes, you as a customer, because you are our customer.
Yes.
But more specifically, local love.
Thank you.
Getting us on your shows. There's just so much value that you bring to us
guys.
local guys.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Jamie's Local Love, the podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Serretta. Do you know a business worthy of some local love? Email me at jserretta@azfamily.com. Follow us at facebook.com/Serretta and Instagram @Serretta News. Make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star review, please. And tell your friends about the podcast and the businesses we feature to show your local love. You can find us on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you get your podcasts.